As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to National Orientation Agency River State Dialogue, a platform where we weekly sensitize citizens on government policies, programs, and activities. We bring to you national trends weekly. Thank you for always joining us. If you've joined already, do well to like and share so others can get notified and join. Today we'll be discussing Nigerian Youth and Nonviolent Electioneering Campaign. It's our thing to always bring highly resourced persons to discuss every topic every Friday. Today is not an exception, as I have with me our guests in the studio. On my immediate left, I have BARINUAZOR EMMANUEL, Chairman, River State Ethnic Youth Leaders. Good morning, sir. Good to have you in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning. And beside him, we have Comrade BANI, NWISABARI, Chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, River State. Good to have you in the studio, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Beside him, we have HOWELLS, Director, Student Assisting Students, SASI. Thank you so much for being in the studio, Henry.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good to have you here. Let's get to the topic, viewers. Mr. Emmanuel, I'd like to start with you. You were a leader of ethnic youth leaders. So I want to know, does ethnicity have anything to do with violence in election campaigns?
No. Ethnicity has to do with violence in campaign. But just that some few political actors, current political gladiators in the states, have used the opportunity, driving on the influence of ethnic to cause violence, to cause problem within the state, using the youth against each other. Like what happened in Oyibo a few months ago, attack on Senator Nge Abel, we and the Asa and Ndokis, we've been brothers and neighbors for more than 1,000 years. But for the first time that you see somebody coming to campaign in Asa, in Ndoki area, and some youths, based on tribe, based on their ethnic and boss, they said you can't come to this place to campaign. So I don't think ethnic is a cause of political violence in River State. Some few political actors have used the opportunity because they have power, because they are in charge, to cause problem, because they feel that is the only option and that is the only tool they know to influence.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Viewers, you've heard him. Some persons are taking advantage of ethnicity to cause problems. Let's try so hard to maintain peace during this period. Mr. Bani, sir, when you talk about social vices, why are young people always the vocal people? Why are they always at the forefront of social vices?
Okay, when you say vocal, like, are they speaking for, or they're always involved?
The focal people, like the focus when you talk about
focus. Social biases.
Yes, sir.
I think between the stage of adolescent and youth, there is a lot of formations that go in the mind. There is a lot of social reforms, a lot of eventful activities that is taking place. They are getting used to the society, getting used to the environment, getting used to virtually everything that has not been there. And at a certain stage, once you're 18, it is legal. Law provides the provision that you are now become an adult that can take decisions on your own. And most of the times, the environment we find ourselves does not really communicate the right behavioral patterns to our young people, especially when ICT is almost double crossing or overtaking our essence of cultural well-being as a people. The youth have always been in the pit because they have a lot of energy, they have a lot of unanswered questions. They are so eager, they are curious to know what life is all about. They are trying to, venture into so many things to see what life really looks like in this area. And most of the times, they, because of poor mentorship, poor parenting, and poor environment, poor education as well, it has actually prone them to most of these social vices. And a lot of people have also taken advantage of that their youthful age. Like there are certain information that are not disposed to them because of this indices that I've just mentioned earlier. I think it's something to condemn. It is not something to just sit and look at. It is just isolated. And a child that is taught by one teacher cannot be compared to a child that is actually tutored by many teachers in various fields of life. So I think in this part of our world, the government has not done so much on enlightenment. The social space have not also done much on enlightenment to educate them on the dangers that befalls them. Most of us are privileged, to have been guided properly. Disadvantages that are, associated with these vices. So going forward, I know more opportunities to be to throw more light on it, but I want to sincerely condemn in its totality any form of social vices whatsoever, be it crime, be it rape, be it drug, be it whatever you want to call it. There is no excuse. You don't say you're depressed because the things are getting bad. You want to help yourself. You want to get involved in a gang. You want to, that's your self-respect, your self-worth. You want to be seen as a very notable person. You have to work for whatever you want in life. The way you dress your bed is the way you're going to lie on it. And I want to, say that if you are in such an act, you better stop, retrace your steps, and build your life from where you are right now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bani. Viewers, you've heard him. He has said a lot, actually. He said why they're always at the forefront is because they have a lot of unanswered questions, they have a lot of energy, they want to explore. But while you're at it, make sure you do it positively. If you want to be known, you should be known for something good, not something bad. The way you lay your bed, he said, is the way you lie on it. Put that at the back of your mind. Mr. Henry, children grow into youth, then adults. Would you fault parenting as a factor for youth involvement in violence?
Well, it's a multifactorial consideration. It's not solely on the parents. We should understand that the parents exist in the society, and the society in itself has a whole lot of influence on the child and the youth per se. This is as a result of the fact that the society is made up of people from different ethnic groups, people with different perceptions, people with different experience and different experiential knowledge of life. So children that are in the society have been exposed to a lot. It is indeed the responsibility of parents to ensure that what their children have been exposed to is being checked to the extent at which a child should not be exposed to certain informations or certain things that would alter his mindset, because it is from the stage of formation of the child that his mindset is being couched, and this is done as a result of what he's been exposed to. So you see that children that grow up in certain kind of areas where they are being exposed to things like drug abuse, where a child will be growing up and you will see that at the age of 13, 14, there is a girl pregnant around there and nobody has issues with it. See that cultism are prevalent in such areas. Those children see these things as normal and they do not see the implication or the consequences of those things. But there are children who are brought up in areas where what they are exposed to is defined. They tend to have a more proper way of reasoning and a more proper way of seeing things. Now, we come to understand that different children who grow up in these areas, as they grow up into youth, they have different mindset and different approach to things. And it could tell a lot on how their adult life will become. And it is the responsibility of not just the parents and not just the society, but even the government to put in place certain agencies, certain modalities that would see that while children grow up in their primary schools, in their secondary schools, there are systems, there are structures that are ensuring that these students are being exposed to only things that will tend to alter their mind in a positive dimension and for the good of the state and the nation at large.
Thank you very much. Viewers, you've heard him. Aside parenting, he said there are other factors that could contribute to violence in young people. He talked about environment and what they are exposed to. You know, change begins with me is a popular slogan. When you see something going wrong in your environment, it's also said that when you see something, you say something. Like our other guest said, a child is everybody's child. When you see children doing the wrong thing around you, try to make sure that your environment is positive. You can correct the child in a positive way, just so you don't go creating more violence in children. Just ensure that your environment is safe for everybody. So I would want to ask you, what do you think are the aftermath effects of violence during election?
The effect is we have to go back to where we're coming from, because there must be history.
Okay.
If you look at in 2000 to 2007, River State was 20. 2000, if you look at from 1999 to 2007, River State was a theater of war, but because of these politicians. When Odele was governor of this state, what happened then is what we are reaping today, because if you look at the Ijo area, there was crisis within the Kalabari, the Okreka, that led to street courtism we are having today. And what you are seeing today, election will come and go. But after the election is gone, what will happen? We will be enemies to ourselves, because you cannot injure me because of the election. You cannot kill my person because of the election. Then after the period of the election, those gangs, those people that they get gun, they will not be able to shoot the gun. The guns will still remain in the hands of the youth. So the aftermath of the whole issue will be that after the election, how will you be able to retrieve those guns that you gave to those youths? What about the police that are making illegal arrests? Police should also know that we are flesh and blood. Somebody gave order 21 or order 22. Last week, like what happened last week Sunday, that some youths were arrested around Resto Park in Nigeria on Abaro, about 30 of them, and they were taken to prison on a charge that they did not commit. They took them to magistrate court, charged them for courtism, knowing that they cannot get bail from magistrate court. Their case has been adjourned to 24th of March. 24th of March, how will you keep somebody in prison that did not commit any crime from now to 24th of March? You that make that arrest, you the police officer that make that arrest, you the government that gave the order, do you think that somebody that you've kept in prison for more than 2 months will forgive you? So it will be that if you hurt me, it will turn after the election, it will be that my family versus your family. It will be community versus community. So our advice to the youth now is that they should not allow themselves to be used by these political actors. If those political actors that are sending you to go and commit this crime, giving you machete, giving you gun, giving you order to go and start other people's campaign, tell them that they can't do it. Where are the children of this elite? Where are the children of these politicians? The children are far away in London, America, or the best university in Abuja. You cannot see their children anywhere around Port Harcourt or Rivers State. But we are the ones that they are using to commit this crime. So the aftermath of this will be that there will be permanent enmity, there will be permanent hatred that we cannot forgive ourselves. We are the youth. We are supposed to take charge of this government, because if we are born in 1978 to 1985, this is our time to be in governance. This is our time that we were supposed to be in a assembly or a local government chairman. What about people that were born from 85 to 1990? They are about 38 to 40 years now. When will our own turn come? So my advice to the youth is that don't allow these politicians to use you to commit crime or violence, because we are brothers and sisters in this state. The person from Okopo is a brother to Ogoniman. Ikwere and Calabari, we are brothers. There is no need for us to fight because of somebody's ambition. So we should know that after election, there will be River State, and after election, we will still be brothers and sisters on the street of Port Harcourt.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Viewers, he did mention something very important. Where are the children of the elites? Probably in London, in America, Canada, studying. So why use you for thuggery? That's the question we should all ask ourselves this period. If your children are not good enough as thugs, we also are not good enough for thuggery. So we should also try to be positive through this election. Vote, live, and let your votes count. That's all you need to do this period. Thank you, viewers. So I want to ask you, Mr. Bani, during 2019 election, there were campaigns like the Vote Not Fight campaign. Is there any campaign like that at the moment?
Yeah, I think the National Youth Council of Nigeria, under Able Watching leadership, has been very pragmatic. I think we've also got some sort of commendation from the National Accreditation Agency, Rivers, here, for our work of sensitization before this process got to this point, before the primaries. Okay. First of all, there are things that will only make you not to be of your best disposition during a process like this. And there are some, I think we partner with our brother here of the NICO and other relevant authorities to bring the message to the grassroots. While we are in Port Harcourt here, the capital of Rivers State, there are some sort of availability of information. But when you go to the hinterlands, where violence is more predominant, it shows that access of knowledge regards more grief, anger, and so they tend to vent their anger through violence because they are not able to express themselves. Vote Not Fight campaign is still on. As we are before the primaries started, as I'm talking to you, there is even a program, the FACE Foundation. FACE Foundation is partnering with the National Council of Nigeria to carry out that campaign. Last week we had one outside Port Harcourt, but in the coming days we are going to have a grand finale in Port Harcourt here, where we're going to do a rally and a talk show. So it's very important that our leadership across all levels, across the country, our counterparts are also going through that process right now. We have given our handbills, stickers on vehicles, t-shirts, and other relevant materials. Even some jingles are going on, and platforms. The conversation is ongoing to engage people so that it will be part and parcel of them. We know that we have not had the best shot of elections ever, but we believe that when we continue to engage the minds critically, we begin to expunge elements of violence, which is obsolete. At this point in time, we cannot be celebrating what looks like tyranny in the 21st century. It shows that we are not improving, we're not going forward, and that really puts Rivers State like 2 decades backward. Rivers State should not be a flashpoint of election every now and then. And our political gladiators, they are not doing us proud. I must say it. It shows that they have not been able on their own path to deliver the dividends of democracy, to live up to the expectations of their ambitions, of their manifesto. And so they want to A man that has done well, has studied to show himself approved, would not be afraid to stand before kings to, dish out the things he has been able to do. Yeah. So please, going forward, I want to call on our political elites. If you are given an opportunity to serve the people, do that gladly and let the people reward you by turning you to office. So you don't need to go, expend much energy on getting violence in the areas that are not popular just to cow people, to push people into doing all this. And I also want to continue to tell the youth of Adair State and people resident in River State, violence is never an option. I've said countless in different forums, organizations, seminars, symposiums. Any person introducing violence into politics or leadership, it shows that that person is at the lowest ebb of leadership. He has nothing to offer, and that is why they just try to use violence to cover everybody down.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bani. We'll get back to you. You've heard in viewers while they are on with their campaigns trying to enlighten and educate you. Do well to also listen and adhere to all they tell you, so we'll have a smooth election and all of us will be happy at the end of it all. For now, we'd want to join our correspondent from Akukotaru, where we have Mr. Abiye Senibo standing by. Over to you, Mr. Abiye.
Center for having me. Today, the NOA River State Dialogue is discussing the topic Nigerian Youths and Non-Violent Electioneering Campaign. As you all know, the campaign is at its crescendo, at the highest peak, and the energies of the youth is needed whenever violence wants to be perpetrated. And so this topic is very timely and apt. And today, to discuss this topic with me, I have no other person than Bright Akpama. Bright Akpama, as you can see, is an energetic youth. He's a youth and he's been involved in all these youth activities and all of that. So, Bright Akpama, what do you have to say about this topic?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We know the period we find ourselves now, knowing fully well that there is an electioneering period, and the involvement of youth in the election at this period is what we really need to talk about, so we can do away with the violence that comes with the electionary processes. And I think our key actors in the key players in our political space have a lot of work to do. When the politicians go about campaigning, not campaigning on issue-based campaign, I think electionary campaign should be about what you are to do or what you have done, not throwing jabs at your opponent. And when you throw jabs at your opponent, you are definitely leaving your surrogates open to violence. And that's the more reason why we must educate our youth. We must educate everyone to know that election is not a do or die thing. The people want you, they vote for you. They don't want you, you gradually step aside. So it is very important for our youth to know that election should be a free and fair thing. It is not something we are to attach violence into. And I believe there are rules that guide these politicians. When a politician decides to commit any crime and they get punished for it, definitely their followers would decide to take a peaceful way. But when people commit crime and they go away with it, automatically you're also giving space for more violence to be perpetrated during this election and after this election. And I believe if our people do well, we'll have a free campaign, an issue-based campaign, a free, violence-free election. That's all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Brett Akpama. It's over to you, Patience Joseph Ojuma.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abiye Senibo. Viewers, you heard our correspondent. He said our politicians should try to accept that election is not a do or die affair. If the people like you, they vote you into power. If they don't like you, you step aside. I hope we get to a point where Nigeria gets to that point where our politicians would gladly step aside when the people don't vote them into power. Viewers would like to join our correspondent from Abuja West, where we have Douglas Madi standing by. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mrs. Patience Ujoma, for having me on this live touching program, NOA Rivers Dialogue. Hello, viewers. This is Madi Sedogla, the Community Orientation and Mobilization Officer, National Orientation Agency, Ahoda West Local Government Area of Rivers State. I am streaming live from Akinima, the headquarters of Ahoda West Local Government Area of Rivers State. Today, we are discussing on the topic Youth and Non-Violence Electioneering Campaign. And I have with me, to do justice to this topic, Comrade Akoro Ukaroniso J. Comrade Akoro, what do you think are the reasons why youth are engaging in this kind of violence, especially during election?
Okay, thank you very much. I still remain Comrade Akoro Ukaroniso Gabriel. Yes, as the moderator have asked, youth are not supposed to be on violent page, particularly in this period that we are entering into political issues. So what are we saying about the youth per se? They are the leaders of tomorrow in this great country, Nigeria. And this youth, the federal government, I still have to plead to the federal government, the state, and even the local government, should engage these young men, these vibrant men, which are the ages of 18 to 40 years, to engage them vibrantly in activities, meaningful doing, so that they will not be engaged. The politicians should not come in here and use them, dump them, and they truncate their future. I still have to say that the government should do the needful to engage these youthful men who are probably having skill, some have qualification, which can be engaged to do meaningful work to help themselves and their family and to contribute for the welfare and to the economic development of this great country, Nigeria. It's our pleasure, and it is still be needful. And if you say the politicians should not come, the greedy politicians should not come. They should come when it is needful. They should come and engage these guys, provide an hand ready for them to develop their life. They should not just come necessarily when it is time for politics. They will not use them to do things that are havoc, that will do things of the detriment of this great country, Nigeria. We need these youth people to be meaningful. They should be meaningful. That is my take this morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Comrade Ukoro,
Yes.
for your explanation. As you have heard, the government should sit up and rise to the expectation of the youth. Over to you, presenter Patience Ujoma.
Thank you so much, Mr. Douglas. That was an emotional response there from our correspondent. He said the youths are the leaders of tomorrow, and the government should try to engage them positively so they don't get involved in some of these social vices. I think he made a very vital point there. Thank you so much, Mr. Douglas, for bringing that correspondence our way.
To peace. The philosophy, in fact, this should be a new campaign. Children are leaders of tomorrow, and youth are leaders of today. Another example, Ken Sarwinwa, in his 30s, did marvelously well, and in his 20s, and ended up at his 30s, a lot of them met for the kilo, GHSP. Amechi was very young. And let me also go back to the old days. Do you know that the works of their hands are still unbeatable till this generation? A retiring mind cannot give its best anymore. They should be to support the philosophies and ideology of the people by rendering useful advices, guidance, because of their shared experience. Because you have the experience does not mean you have it all. So let me just stop there. Thank you.
I think I like the campaign he's trying to create. Children are the leaders of tomorrow, youth are the leaders of today. Maybe we should put a hashtag with that.
It should fly.
It should fly.
From here to every part of the world.
Yes, it should. So hashtag children are the leaders of tomorrow. Sorry, let's join a caller. Good morning. Hello. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is Mr. Chiwe, one of the regular callers calling from Port Harcourt.
Thank you for always calling, Mr. Chinwe. Let's say your contribution.
I want to make my contribution to this very important topic. You see, in explaining this topic, Nigerian youth and non-violent electioneering campaign, there is one critical and vital question we need to ask ourselves, more especially the youth. What is the essence of campaign? What is the essence of campaign? And when we have that is the candidate, they are going to vote during the election. We have an issue-based campaign. We have a peaceful electoral process. There is no way the electorate will be able to participate effectively in terms of voting properly their choice of leadership in any country. So the youth will have this at the back of their mind and know that there is need for peaceful electoral protest. There is need for peace. There is need for people, for political parties to be given opportunity to express and voice out and explain their manifestos to the people, for the electorate to understand if there is violence during electioneering campaign. There is no way the electorate will understand their choice of leadership, the particular candidate that will elect during election. So the youth will have this at the back of their mind. I want to also agree with the discussion there. Parents must live up to expectation. The gap between parents and their children is so high that parents no longer have control over their children. The same thing is applicable to our religious leaders. What are we preaching in churches? What are we preaching in mosques? We must also conscientize. We must also tell our children to do away, not to involve themselves in violence, electoral violence. What are we doing? What is our teachers? What are teachers in schools? What are they doing? Everybody has to sit up. And for the youth, they must know that the most important thing is life. If they lose their lives, where will they sit? Where will they be to enjoy the dividend of democracy? Where will they sit to enjoy the person they have elected into power? And even if they come up with violence and kill their opposition, the opposition should live to see the good things. The dividend of democracy, the party they are supporting will bring to the society.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chiwe.
They also live to enjoy the dividends of democracy. So with violence, they are risking their life. So it is condemnable. We should say no to violence and we should continue to preach against it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much for your contribution. Our phone line is still open, viewers. You can call in for your contribution. Mr. Chiwe did mention a lot of persons who should be involved in this change. Change is not for one person, though it begins with you. If I tell myself change begins with me, you tell yourself change begins with me, we would all make that change. He mentioned the parents. The family is the smallest unit of a society. He said the gap between parents and children are so wide now. Parents no longer have control over their children. If I control my children and you control yours, and they all meet in the society, I'm sure there will be none negatively influencing the other if they have good backgrounds. So our society is dependent on that smallest unit, the family. Parents should do well to get close to their children and educate them properly. He also did mention religious groups. He mentioned the church and the mosques. What are they doing? Do help you, I would not hurt you. That is why the commandment brought it down to love. That is what we should pray in this election period. Do well not to harm the other. He also did mention that campaign is an opportunity to hear from who wants to lead you. We need to hear their manifesto. We need to hear what they have to offer. There's no need obstructing the campaign. Let them come talk to us so we have the opportunity to choose the right candidate. Election is the time to celebrate. It's a time to choose who you want to choose. Let's do well not to allow violence come in between to spoil the next 4 years of our lives. We are not talking about 4 days here, we are talking about 4 whole years. Our children will be under this leadership for the next 4 years. Do well to coordinate yourself this period so we have a peaceful election. Thank you so much, Mr. Chiwe. Okay, sir.
For me, parenting takes about 70% of what a child should be. Because from when you're born. They tell you where to sit, where to go, even when your nervous system has not formed very well, like your brain, like you're not being able to make decisive actions for yourself. Your parents make all of these things possible. I think there is a little gap, just like he said, between our parents and the children. There is not much relationship enough to be able to synergize the challenges that our children are facing and what our parents already know. I think there is one thing I want to advise or suggest to our parents. They should also read more. They should also do more research, because the things that are happening now, no doubt, there are no much differences. But with the invent of technology, the children now stay at home and travel very far. They travel very far, even to the extent that their parents do not know what is happening. I think they should build more relationships to foster peace in their home, because the family is the smallest indivisible unit of the society. If you can fix your family rightly, definitely the societal issues will be half solved.
Thank you so much. He said he gives 70% to the family. That's a huge one. So let's all try to make sure that our children are mentally stable. Thank you so much. I would like to ask you, Mr. Henry, you're on campus, so observing the activities of the youth on campus, how would you assess the readiness of Nigerian youths to participate in the forthcoming election?
Well, to a great extent, I'll start by saying this 2023 election is one that's taking different dimensions. That is, to the extent of the participation of the youths. Statistics has shown that youths are topping the chart when it comes to registered voters. I think the INEC chairman has already confirmed that, and this has gone to prove that youth will be very instrumental. They are a deciding factor. I would also like to bring this into consideration, the fact that youths, majority of the youths are constituted on the campuses. Now, the youths have dreams, they have visions. Amongst these are social security, good educational system, good healthcare facilities and sectors. Amongst these are job opportunities. Amongst these are accountability and involvement in the governing process of the state. So during this period, during the electionary period, it gives us hope. It is a period where we want to hear from the persons who have taken up interest to attain the leadership position of the state and the nation at large. So the youth want to hear. The youth want to know what you have at heart for us, taking into consideration that we have a whole lot of dreams outlined, taking into consideration that the decisions we make right now as regards the next set of leaders will do a great deal in affecting our future, and not just us, but even that of our children. Now, the big question is, why are youths involved in electionary vices and causing problems during this period? Is it as a result of the fact that the youths are ignorant, that they are being used as instruments to facilitate the whims and caprices of politicians? Is it as a result of the fact that the youths are being manipulated into doing what they are doing, or the monetary value that is being attached to using them as instruments to facilitate these problems? Is it also as a result, or is it as a result of their affiliation with political parties? These are pressing questions. These are questions that will go to order the mindset of youths. Because I don't think a youth would stand up and decide to want to participate in an electionary vices for no reason. There are a whole lot of factors that would influence their choice of decision, and these are the things that should be looked into. Youths are not ignorant. Youths have the best minds in every state and in every nation at large. We are the wheels through which every society is being developed. We are the agencies we are the instruments, we are the facilitators of societal change. What then are we doing? I'll take myself as a typical example. During the campus, I'm a student of River State University in the Faculty of Law, and I'm also the chairman of the Students Assisting Students Initiative, SASI. During this period, I thought to myself as a youth in River State, what will be my own contribution to the success of the election? And how do I ensure that through my activities as a youth, I'm able to do that? Would not just secure our future, but even that of our children. This is where our power lies. I would not go and involve in social vices when I have my voter's card with me, because this is what speaks for me. This is where my voice should be heard. For the fact that I would go out on that day, which I must, to see that I exercise my franchise, to see that I contribute into ensuring that the next leader of this country would not just be one that has come to make promises, but one who over time, as a result of his track record and as a result of the fact that I do have convictions that this person is the right leader to take us to the next level, I vote for that person. That should be the aim of every. We want to employ youths, those in the university and those who are in respective professions, to ensure that they do not allow themselves to be used as instruments to facilitate electioneering vices, but to ensure that they do well to vote rightly for who will take Nigeria forward.
Thank you so much, Mr. Henry. You've heard him. The only weapon you have in this election is your PVC. There's nothing else you need to go vote. All you need to go with is just your PVC and go vote and just leave. Don't cause problems there on that day. It's 4 years, and he has just said that it's not a matter of even the 4 years. The leaders you choose today will determine your viewers. Blessing Jumbo, thank you for watching. Happy Senibo, thank you so much for watching. Chinwe Para, thank you. Irene, thank you for watching. Patricia Senibo, thank you for watching. Nkechi Naji, thank you for watching. Nkenji Fabris, thank you. Charles Sopara Williams, thank you. Semi Tiger, thank you for watching. Senibabi is saying, youths are usually the vehicle perpetrates violence because of their energy and adventurous nature. However, parents have a lot of work to do in channeling them. We've also said a lot about that in the studio. Christian Noma, thank you for watching. Enyo Bongian, thank you. Rosemary Abeha, thank you for watching. Senibabi, thank you for watching. Samuel Achiba, thank you. Doris Zoma, thank you for watching. Bekimbo Williams, thank you for watching. Esomia Gifts, commendable, thank you. Bekimbo Williams, parents, stakeholders, and societies should do the needful and educate the youth as nothing gained in a violent situation. Thank you for that contribution. Faith, thank God. NOA Rivers, well done. Abiyes Senibo is saying, in most cases, political violence are carried out by youths, reading the body language and comments of their leaders against the perceived political enemy. Thank you for that contribution. Mary, thank you for watching. Semi Tiger Yebo is saying, I pray for our youth to heed to words of wisdom and not be used and dumped. Viewers, you've heard. Thames Orubo, thank you for watching. Ifoma Onachiku Obele, thank you for watching. Rosemary Abehat is saying, I agree absolutely to that correction that youth are leaders of today and not tomorrow. Our elders know this truth and would rather use them for negative and violent purposes because they want to die in power. I told you that hashtag would fly. Yeah. She agrees. Abiyes Senibo. In fact, from today, that mantra that says that the youth are leaders of tomorrow should be changed to youth are leaders of today. David became king at 30 years. For watching. Ellis Ariadapa, thank you so much for watching. Ifoma Ebere, thank you so much for watching. I think there have been a lot of emphasis on youth are the leaders of today. So we should try to create that hashtag after now. Back to our discussion. I would. Okay. What role do you think the government should play in ensuring that our youths don't get involved in violence this period?
The government, as a matter of urgency, need to create a new policy that we don't need AK-47. What we need on the street is industry. Our youths, my advice to you, anytime they come with education, you need good healthcare, and you also need good road and electricity. You also need security. Government should look at the youth as leaders of today. Governor Wike was the local government chairman of Obiabo at the age of 29. As they started their early leadership, they should also know that we are ready to take over leadership from them. What we want from them is to go back to our community. The money they are spending on buying guns and buying machetes for our youth should be converted to the classroom. Those money should be converted into building our health center. We will not take it any longer from them that only election time to come to River money to go and fight each other. The 23 ethnic bloc in River State should see there is no need to carry arms against each other. The only thing we need from you as a government is to make sure that our classroom is well equipped, our industry is built, and we also need good security in the state. And my advice to the security agency is that they should not allow themselves to be used by these political actors.
Okay.
INEC should also try their best. We are hoping that this 2023 election will give us a pathway to 2027. Whatever comes out of this election will determine what the next election will be. For the youth of River State, we are ready to vote. We are ready to vote in a peaceful manner. We have also launched a campaign, Zero Violence, Zero Death, by River State Elders Council, partner with all the community leaders in River State. Our appeal to the political gladiators is that we need peaceful campaign. Allow your fellow contestant to go to any part of the River State to campaign. Order 21 and Order 22 should be stepped down, please, for the sake of peace in the states.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. Viewers, you've heard him. They've launched the campaign, Zero Violence, Zero Deaths. If there's no violence, there will be no issue of killing one another. Thank you so much for that campaign. You've also heard him. It's not when the period of election comes, they come to us with money. But we trust you do well this period, because we've had cases last year where youths rejected money. Let us vote. We don't need your money. We also anticipate that all of us will do the same in the forthcoming election. Thank you so much. Mr. Bani, your last notes to our viewers. What do you have to tell them?
You cannot solve a problem with the same mentality you created. Over the years, I can tell you that if the government stays in power 3 years out of the 4 years to make it if you have done well. And you don't know, you can't expect a government that has performed poorly to do nice things in these coming elections. So we are even afraid that the people in power do not have the technical know-how to even deliver that they comply with the guidelines of INEC. Come out in time, do the needful by voting for the candidates with the best of manifesto, blueprints, and track records. It's not just about someone that will go and hire some professionals to draft the best of documents and will call it manifesto. You have to look at the person's track record over time. His current disposition now, before you can talk about the future. You cannot give what you don't have. And if we all do the right thing collectively, 2023 will be peaceful, and the future will be assured of secure prosperity. And I believe that if all hands are on deck, the security agencies will queue, the umpire, INEC, will queue, and the governments, which are
for the ambition of these politicians. So we should not make ourselves victims this period. We should rather make ourselves useful by voting the people who we think, who we have perceived, who over time, as a result of what they have done in the past, by that I mean their track record, and as a result of the innovative ideas they have brought to the table, we think they can be able to represent this country and then take us to the next level. Because of course, the whole idea, the whole essence is that Nigeria is a better place for us, for the future, and for those that are coming after us. So youths should do well to ensure that they do not participate and make themselves available to see that we achieve a peaceful and successful elections.
Thank you so much, Mr. Henry. Viewers, you've heard our guest in the studio. I would want to add that this period is a period where all hands must be on deck to ensure that the right thing is done. Not because of today, we are looking at the next 4 years and even beyond. Nigeria is the only home you have. You travel far abroad, wherever you go, you will return home. It's the only home we have. We should try to build it. Even if you can leave it for a different country or somewhere else, you should try to build it for the sake of your children and their children yet unborn. Thank you so much. We want to appreciate our studios and the guests in the studio. Thank you so much, BARINUAZOR EMMANUEL. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. BANI NWISABARI. Thank you so much for being with us.
COMRADE BANI.
Thank you. Thank you, Henry HOWELLS, for being with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Would want to give honor to whom honor is due. Would want to appreciate our executive producer, Dr. Garba Abari, the Director General of National Orientation Agency. Would also want to appreciate our producer, Barrister Young Ayotamino. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for contributing to ensure that this program streams every Friday. Thank you for your consistency, sir. We appreciate you. Would also want to appreciate our studio director, who doubles as the HOD ICT department, Aroloye Briggs. Thank you so much, sir, for all that you do. We appreciate you. Viewers, you've heard all that we've said. Your PVC is the only weapon you have. Vote and not fight. We shouldn't go fighting ourselves because of these politicians. Vote your candidate, I vote my candidate. Whoever have more votes will emerge as a leader at the end. It means that your candidate may not be my candidate, but whoever is good enough would have majority if we don't go causing violence on that day. We want to believe that the election this year will be different from the way it has been previously, with the invention of different technologies and with our cooperation, because of course we are anticipating a positive reaction from Nigerians. See you same time, same day next week. Until then, I remain Patience Joseph.